What's up, metal and heavy music fans? It's my favorite time of the month again, where we hang out and explore your latest requests and recommendations for underground metal on Bandcamp. Alright, we are going to start with one slightly more known release in Krallice. They dropped Crystalline Exhaustion in beginning of February, I want to say. I'm forgetting now. No, end of January, so it's been a little while. Just a release I lost track of. Many people here may be familiar with Krallice because they've been around for some time now, but some of you may not. And since I didn't cover it anywhere else, thought I'd toss it into the jam here. For those unfamiliar, they are a New York black metal band, although that doesn't quite fully capture everything that they do. Lots of atmosphere, lots of technicality too. Drums sound good. I have not taken the time yet to listen to this in full. But I love this cover, and I feel like the music definitely that I'm hearing here is fitting it. There's this very icy feel to it. They've been known to go a little bit more like weird and avant-garde in places too. Ooh, I like the synth on here. It's like early Enslaved vibes. Also had a little bit of death metal in their sound too. Like those vocals are much more death than black. Yeah, and here's where the weird kind of janky avant-garde stuff comes in with that like gore guts and sort of ulcerate feel to it. They're a solid band. If you haven't checked them out, you definitely should. Had a few releases over the past couple years that you can find on the sidebar. And yeah, it's just 6 tracks, but some of them are definitely on the longer side, so strap in for a bit of a journey anytime you put on Krallice. Yeah, I'm digging what I'm hearing here. Sometimes I'm in an atmospheric mood, sometimes not so much. I feel like lately I've just wanted more sort of balls to the wall, just like break shit music. So you gotta be in the right mood, but this really sounds like there's a lot going on here. When you really, unlike me just jumping around here giving you a little preview, and try not to get in trouble with the powers that be, I'm sure there's a lot to dig into. So yeah, that is Krallice with Crystalline Exhaustion. Next up, the homie Ben, longtime viewer, back with another project. This is out of Massachusetts. Oh god, it's called Ecstaticlysm? Hey, I said that okay. And Amnéjà Vu. Amnéjà Vu. So like amnesia mixed with deja vu, I'm guessing. Ben, very talented guitar player. I believe this is another instrumental release. There's no tags to determine that for sure. But really great kind of like post-metal, post-rock, progressive kind of stuff. Ben, you might have to remind me how long you've been watching. I feel like you've been around since before the YouTube channel was even a thing, and it was just metaltrenches.com, but correct me if I'm wrong in that. So, super fan, very talented guy. He just has this knack for creating these guitar lines that just like fill you with like positivity and hope and just very pleasant stuff to listen to. And then he's got some more subdued things too. I like the electronic influences, which is something he's played with before. Picking up into the more heavy, palm-muted heavy sections. Yeah, just a little 3-song release. It's free to download. Can never go wrong with that. This all seemed like a guy who's more interested in creating and sharing his music than the financial aspect of it, but I always say if you're good at something, get paid for it. So in any case, spread the word about this cool project. And yeah, if you enjoy instrumental, kind of proggy, post-metal-y stuff, then this would be right up your alley. Great kind of thinking music, too. That is Ecstaticlysm with Amnéjà Vu. Next we have Perpetual with Backlash out of Poland, which, in keeping with my shirt here, lEnfield, which I believe are also out of Poland. They sent me this shirt. But big shout out again and thanks to lEnfield. They made my best black metal albums of 2021 list. Okay, big crunchy power chords. I've got some feedback on these vocals. Ooh, I like gang vocals though. Okay. More gang vocals, please. Always a fan of that. The vocals are reminding me of something. I like this band photo. Very simple, kind of thrash metal style stuff. Good chuggy, if a little bit sort of cookie cutter riffing here. And I do like to give some positive, constructive feedback on this too. Gang vocals, great. Keep doing that. But the vocals, I think the main vocals, are a little bit grating. It's a little bit like, I guess a little bit of Slayer kind of style, but a little bit like it's like too much, and a little too one note. Nice little solo here. Getting some dynamics in the songs too. Let's check out another song as well. This little cymbal crash opener. Yeah, I'm loving the gang vocals. That is definitely a saving grace for the vocals. But the thing with the vocals, the main vocals, is that nah. I've never been a fan of that style, where it's like literally like one note just... oh wait, we had a little something there. What was that? I want to catch that. Okay, I like that. Throw in more of that. I don't know if that's somebody else in the band, or if that's also the lead vocalist. I don't know if there's no credits to indicate that. Like those a lot more. That more death style vocal. Now that's kind of a taste thing in terms of how you like your thrash. I tend to like my thrash a little bit more on that side, or on the crossover punky side. But at bare minimum, just vary it up a little bit more. I've never been a fan of that rah, 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 rah style, where it just gets kind of annoying. Just to be totally honest, totally frank. Let me know down in the comments if people feel differently, if you really like that style. But yeah, like everything that's coming out is just that it's one note. It's literally one note. So like, find ways to like... Don't overdo it, like don't try to throw in like a yowl, don't, I'm not even saying like sing, still scream, but just find ways to vary it up and be more clever in where you're placing the syllables, and yeah, again, throw in more of these. I like that a lot. That is more of almost like a, like Max Cavalera kind of sound to it. But yeah, musically though, I think I like these little drum intros too. It's a little Lamb of God style riff on this one. But yeah, I think there's a good foundation here that you can definitely build off of. Looks like you've had a couple releases. But I think your biggest growth area to invite more people in, besides the marketing side of it, is the vocals. Put a little bit more work into crafting that. But again, like some people who like, especially like old school thrash heads, really like that style. So maybe I'm totally wrong. Again, y'all can let me know down in the comments. But that's Perpetual with Backlash. Alright, we have Le Tunnel de l'Enfer with A Tribute to Daylight. That's probably the closest I'll get to a pronunciation. I feel like I'm okay with French. This is a French band, obviously. Interesting cover. He's got arms coming out of his sides. Speaking of crossover, going for more of a punk vibe on here. Just 4 dudes playing fast songs. Love that bio. That's great. That's a great tagline, too, for, like, emails, I would say. So people sometimes ask me, like, what should I include in my email? And I say, keep it as concise as possible, and have, like, you know, a little tagline that, like, is kind of like that, clickbait. I mean, clickbait me. Not in, like, a fake me out and lie to me, but, like, give me something that causes me to stop my scroll through my email and go, that sounds interesting. And if I just saw that in the subject line, it might be enough. I don't know. Love D-Beat. Y'all know that if you're regular viewers. I love me some punk music and crossover. R.I.P. Power Trip. I don't know if they're going to continue without the vocalist. Hell yeah. Roy Nord is a turd. I don't know who Roy Nord is, but apparently he's a turd. I mean, this totally, like, sells on what they said, too. Like, if I needed a description to give someone. Ooh, nice little layered vocal moment there, too, with the drums dropping out. But yeah, if I wanted to tell someone what to expect from this, I would say 4 dudes playing fast songs. Yeah, it just sounds like really fun driving music, workout music, running music, get pumped up for your day music. Ooh, the drumming on this one. I want to hear that intro again. Throwing like a little like blast beat in there. Varying it with the D-beat. I love stuff like that. Play around with the rhythms. Anything that gets like takes that little extra time to kind of play with the technical aspect. That's why I love mathcore so much. That always gets me. But yeah, this just sounds like fun, straightforward punk music with a little bit of thrash thrown in for good measure. But yeah, that is Le Tunnel de l'Enfer with A Tribute to Daylight. Then we have Duskwalker with All They Know Is Fear. I feel like maybe we've covered Duskwalker before. The name sounds so familiar. But we've had a few other bands that sound similar. So this is Niagara Falls, Ontario band. The mix is a lot higher on this one. I'm going to have to adjust the volume a bit in post. Just straight aggro kind of stuff here. Extreme heavy metal with atmosphere and experimentation. Kind of like groove metal vibes. Death metal, thrash metal and tags. Definitely deathier vocals. Ooh, throwing a little bit. That was kind of like a little carcassy riff there. Like that. This band photo. That's kind of fun. They had like a carnival or something. Curious the story behind that thing they're taking the picture in front of. Nice little drum fills there. It is such a trend for metal bands to do a song about the Diet Love Pass, I swear. Come across so many of them. Even entire albums. We got some more slightly slower paced songs too. Shadow Creeper. Let's check that one out. Nice drum intro. Yeah, they're letting this drummer have some fun. I like that. More D-beat, okay. Just the way to my heart. People are gonna start writing their albums with like tons of D-beat just because they know I'm gonna grade them nicer for it. It's another case where the vocals could use a little work. Like there's a little bit more variety here, which I like. With that like high, almost like black and with the lower growl, but it's. I think part of it is just it's a little bit high in the mix. I think a little bit more finesse around the production could help a lot on this. Because yeah, the vocals just feel a little bit loud. And again, like the feedback I give a lot on this segment is like, how do you stand out too? Like, how do you take all these elements that are pretty familiar and like really carve out a niche. And you could do that in a number of different ways. I like this part. There's another like little dynamic interlude here with the toms, a more subdued guitar. That's cool. Yeah, but I think like a little bit more with the production, toy around with the vocals a little bit, and like find that like special sauce. Like what's that thing that really makes you stand out? But yeah, that is Duskwalker with All They Know Is Fear. Little pause here, little ad break. This video is brought to you by me and my merch store, which is up now, which is crazy to think. This artwork was done by Corey at Curly Art. He does fantastic work. He's done tons of cover work for things that I've covered on this segment, and then also for other people's like shirt designs, bands, and also the Punk Rock MBA. And I just love how it turned out. We've got short sleeve, long sleeve. Doing all this on the channel takes a lot of time. I've got a family, so it's hard to squeeze it in at times, but I love doing it. I don't do it just to get paid, but at the end of the day, I do need to support my family. And so if you want to jump in on any of this, it would be highly appreciated to me and mine. And if it's too steep for you too, that you can also jump over to the Patreon. Even just $1 a month gets you early access to content. All right, back to Varius with Concordance, also from Niagara Falls, Ontario. I don't think I've ever had that happen before, where we had two bands from the exact same place, like right by each other. Canadian melodic death metal featuring experimental twists is the bio. Kind of a cool cover. A little bit small, so it's a little bit hard to tell what's going on. But a little bit more blackened too. I think I have similar feedback to the last band in terms of the production. This one's mixed a little bit smoother though. Vocals aren't too loud. But I just see some places where you could kind of smooth some things out. Like that bass. Like cascading, kind of like waterfall sound of that bass. So just a 4-song EP here. Ooh, big synth part here. Definitely some riffage going on. That was fun. A little break there. More of a proggy approach to this one. And symphonic as well. Anyone else, like, after a while with headphones, start to feel like the pressure, feel like it's like crushing your skull, no pun intended? A little drumming. I like these little, like, spooky... I don't know if that's the guitar or a synth. Kind of reminds me of Korn in a way, which I know some bands get mad when you like compare this stuff to new metal, but there is nothing wrong with new metal, okay? Just like any genre, there is shit, and then there is great stuff. So, just throwing that in there. My little rant. Like this part too. That very deliberate drum beat with that guitar part, very cool. Yeah, overall, I like this. Ooh. Big atmospheric intro here too. Yeah, I'd say really lean into these parts where you're combining the sort of almost like neoclassical guitar with the synth. Makes you sound a lot bigger. This part reminds me a little bit of a Mon Amarth in a way. Yeah, I'm liking these later tracks better than that opening track, so I don't know like if there was a difference in how you approach those songs or how they were produced, but something about them is just... It's got a little bit more of a folky energy to it, which I'm also just sort of biased towards. I love folk metal. But yeah, cool. I'd say lean into this song in particular. Has been my favorite of the ones we're listening to. But yeah, that is Varius with Concordance. Alright, then we have Sapiencia Diaboli with We Were Put on This Earth to Suffer. Ooh. Nice explosive opening there. Let me guess, black metal. Based on this cover, very old school vibes. Just the atmosphere. The wisdom of the devil is formless. That's what the bio says. Some more very pummeling drums, very aggressive blast beats. As sounds by Formless. I'm wondering if that means this is a one-man project. There's not enough info to clarify that on the Bandcamp page. Yeah, just like that pure hellfire. Oh, and of course, the cassette is 666 for payment. And keeping it true, too, it looks like I don't... Oh, wait, you can get the digital. It's right there. I'm an idiot. Thought you could only get cassette. Like how analog of you. I've had bands like that say that they will only send me like a cassette or CD in the mail. Will not do digital. I think most bands have had to adapt at this point. Yeah, this is just pure, like, there's no... Don't come into this looking for hooks. This is just hellfire surrounding you. It's a fire tornado. More that, like, falling into a hell chasm kind of music. Kind of chaotic vocals, too. Oh, and it's a split, too. So this is the Sapiencia Diaboli side, and then we have Dread Maw, who also sounds familiar on the other side. All of this seeming to fall under more satanic themes. Yeah, this is more raw second wave, early second wave, kind of Burzum-y stuff for them. That's a little rough even for me. I know some people really love that just like pure recorded by a potato kind of music. I can appreciate it sometimes, but it's not a regular listen, that's for sure. But if you want to get true, you want to impress your friends with just how true cult you are. Seems like Dread Maw is the way to go. They're more dissonant and just ugly. My vote goes for, I definitely prefer the Sapiencia Diaboli sound overall. I like that. It's the way it surrounds you. But yeah, so that is Dread Maw and Sapiencia Diaboli with We Were Put on This Earth to Suffer. Then we have Vinta Dracul with the Murnau Nocturnes out of Baltimore, Maryland. With that name, I was expecting them to be European, but... Kind of an eerie photo. So it's got that kind of backrooms kind of feel to it, the liminal spaces, where it's a familiar place, but because it's empty, there's just something eerie about it. By the way, if you like found footage horror, there's this awesome channel. I forget the name of the channel now, but just look up the Backrooms, and that's like the longest short they've done so far, and it's fantastic. Like, it's genuinely creepy. It's not overdone, but it impresses in a number of areas. And if you like the whole like mythology of the Backrooms kind of creepypasta kind of stuff, then you'll enjoy it. And the creature in it is kind of cool. But anyways, I need to shut up about that. Go into the music. Obviously, we've got a lot of vampire themes here to go along with the band name. Hollywood Vampires, Ghost of Max Schreck, who is the actor who played Nosferatu, the original Nosferatu. His name actually also translates to, like, extreme, like, terror or something like that, because he's German, I believe. If I'm remembering all my film school stuff. More very, like, avant-garde, dissonant, noisy style going on here. Good photo to go along with it. Looks like it's a duo. I want to check out the Ghost of Max Schreck. Candida, Dracula, Skull of Murnau. I wonder if they're... Oh, Murnau is also a director. I think the director... Am I getting things mixed up? I did take some film studies classes, because I'm a huge film buff. Was more so back in the day. but that sounds very familiar. I'm willing to bet a lot of these are references to films and other media. Lots of diversity here. The last song was very kind of like melodic and string heavy. This one's more of like a kind of funky groove head bobber. The bio is just, so you like vampire stories? Very eerie. Definitely like niche music for like a particular group of people. I think they'd be full aware of it. We got some bigger reviews on here. No clean singing. May disturb your slumbers, said No Clean Singing. I concur. Definitely not music I'd want playing while I'm falling asleep. This would definitely give you nightmares. Yeah, super eerie, unsettling, kind of uncanny, which is perfect to the aesthetic here. I'm all for a vampire resurgence. The zombies are played, y'all. Like, don't send me anything about zombie movies, zombie games. I don't care how good they are at this point. I am just over it. I'm ready to jump on a different train. So maybe Vinta Dracul is here to usher in the latest vampire craze. Yeah, that is the Murnau Nocturnes. Alright, moving right along, we have Ritual Awakening with Ritual Awakening of San Diego, California. Let's get right into it. There's some more death metal here. This kind of classic looking cover. Pigment. Man Bear Pig! Please tell me that's Man Bear Pig. I'm super serial. It's all kind of like blackened death metal. Also got melodic death metal in the tags here. I like the kind of layering of the vocals they're doing here. The highs and the lows. A little bit of like Black Dahlia murder in the riffs too. Good melodies going on there. Pretty earworm. Yeah, this part's very almost like unhallowed era, the Black Dahlia murder, which is one of my favorites still. Yeah, not bad. I'm finding myself like having a hard time coming up with things to say, partly because like it's almost whenever it's like the Black Dahlia murder, I'm almost like it sounds like the Black Dahlia murder. It's even hard for me to talk about the Black Dahlia murder records. So all I have to say, this is good. We're looking at places I could see improvement. Probably the production, mostly. And it's not bad. It's about at the level you'd expect of a more independent band. But the songwriting itself sounds pretty good. Ooh, nice little bass intro here. Yeah, that's kind of fun. That helps, those big intros I always find, like, really help me remember songs, too. Like, if you got a cool, like, drum solo in the intro, or some big riff, or a big vocal call-outs, like on the Corpse Grinder album, those always stick in my head. Yeah, and this one building into this more kind of grand, atmospheric kind of thing. So yeah, Ritual Awakening with Ritual Awakening. Next is Trauma Field with From Wounded Soil out of Finland. This particular place I'm not going to try to pronounce. Kind of a neat cover. I'm going to guess Doom. This is atmospheric metal tags. Yeah, definitely more on the doomy side of the spectrum. They also have death metal, heavy metal, melodic metal tags. A little bit of like Catatonia in there. Maybe even some of Amorphous' kind of career album stuff. Mid to later. That Amorphous tier list was pretty fun. I hadn't really dug into those albums much. Ooh, that was a very Opethy riff right there. I like that. Going up with a mid-track here. Production sounds really good on this one. Got some nice like reverb on the drums. Everything sounds like pretty big, which I'd say is important if your main draw is your atmosphere. Yeah, those drums sound great. The cymbals could maybe sound a little better, but the toms and everything sound really great. Another kind of Opethy, chuggy part here. I'd recommend this too to people who like later Enslaved. Insomnium. Good mix of cleans and harsh vocals here too, which I always appreciate. You know I love those dynamic vocals. Pick up at the end again? Yep. How did I know? Trauma Field's kind of a cool name too. I'd say it fits the music pretty well. And I think the cover art suits the sound as well. Lots of good stuff here. We're letting the drums kind of take center stage in the beginning of this one. Great melodies, very moody. Another album that probably best experienced start to finish. Ooh, that's kind of cool with the shifting back and forth of the vocals. Good with headphones. Ooh, nice little harmonized guitar section here. Always a sucker for that. Sky Harbor, we got some acoustic on here, some strings. I think those are synths, actually, but still sounds cool. Yeah, really digging this. Definitely something I could really get into. Very much up my alley. This came out back in January, and strong way, I think, to start out the year. Technically, very end of January, so... Cool stuff, yeah, that's Trauma Field with From Wounded Soil. Next we have Lycanthro with Mark of the Wolf. I have a feeling this is going to be a big left turn from that last one. This guy's out of Ottawa, Ontario. Rah! There's some uncanny Valley Wolfman shit right there, I feel like. Big intro here. Oh, you know, I was not expecting this. Power metal. I was gonna expect it was gonna be a death metal band. Okay, well, straight up heavy metal. Some of these track lengths make me a little nervous. I will already say too, because I'm always given constructive feedback. If you're gonna do power metal and heavy metal, and you're gonna go for those falsettos, you gotta nail it. Like that one was pretty good. But I'm hearing some inconsistency here. Like that one was a little flat. And I'm not a vocal coach by any means, but I know what I hear. Yeah, I'd say tighten up the track name. I'm not even, listening to this track all the way through, so it's not entirely fair. But I'd say 7+ minutes is pretty ambitious, especially for a newer, lesser-known band. Ooh, I like this other cover art you got here, too. Riffs are pretty cool. Not hearing anything, like, amazingly original or anything, but strong there. I like the bass tone, too. I think the production is about where it needs to be. It's got that kind of retro vibe to it. Yeah, I think a little bit more finesse in the vocal territory is going to be important. I will say, like, the melodies you've written for the vocals gel nicely with the music, which is not something I can always say about bands in your niche. Like, there's definitely a catchiness there, but you gotta, again, at least for me, if you're in this genre, you gotta nail the notes. Like, you gotta nail every single note. I'm gonna be much more critical of these bands versus like a death or black metal band where they can kind of get kind of raunchy because it goes with the territory. But here it's like you're gonna show off those falsettos. Okay, you got that one. That sounded good. Yeah, and again, I don't want to be like acting like I'm some professional or whatever, but people ask me for feedback, and that's what I have on this one. So that's a very like Iron Maiden-y dueling guitar section there with the little thump, the punctuation of the drums. That's fun. Very kind of Number of the Beast era Iron Maiden. Check out my Iron Maiden tier list, by the way, if you haven't already. You're gonna hate it. You're gonna hate it. Yeah, I like this. Mark of the Wolf seems like a standout song here, as it should be. Title track. Got some good atmosphere too. Yeah, I think there's a lot to go with here. Again, y'all know this isn't like my go-to style, but it's been grown on me. Especially with those Sabaton records, really sucked me in, y'all. I don't know what it was something about it. Yeah, cool stuff. That's Lycanthro with Mark of the Wolf. Alright, then we have Hold My Hand Spaceman with So Far So Good. Also out of Toronto, Ontario. I'm wondering if, I know Mad Mike recommended me a few bands and albums, and I wishlisted a few of them, and now I can't remember which ones those were, so maybe this was one of them. For the Canucks out there. This is cool. One more, yeah, progressive metal here. It reminds me of something, but I can't put my finger on it yet. Featuring Andrew Ortega. I'm not sure who that is. A couple tracks here. Liking the riffs, liking the vocals. Very strong. Just a little bit of like, ooh. Yeah, I like those riffs. Remind me a little bit of like Textures, I guess. There's something else there too, though. Ooh, those noodly riffs. It's kind of like periphery riffs that I always enjoy. Or Animals as Leaders. This is cool. With the little, like, phasing synth. Very pretty. Tranquil. Little twinkly atmosphere going on there. Yeah, really come together. This is definitely something I can see myself listening to quite a bit, especially like while driving. This guitar player's got it. Composed and arranged by Christopher Braga, Jonathan Basilius, Matthew Iannuzzu, and Andrew Ortega. Never ending in recollection. Doesn't say who's doing what though. Whoever that is on the guitar is, though, killing it. Absolutely killing it. Honestly, my one critique here is that I think you could do better album art for something this pretty. Like, I just think about this and I think something more fractally, a little bit more polished. I know it's harder, more expensive to get that kind of art, or do photography. Like, when in doubt, I say do photography because it's going to be cheaper and everybody can have a high-quality camera on their phone now, so... Yeah, I just feel like this comes off as it doesn't match the strength and the vibe of the music. So if I saw this on the shelf, I wouldn't be particularly interested to listen to it, which would be a shame because I'd be missing out. So I'm really liking what I'm hearing here. Look at, I'm thinking also of Tesseracts, stuff like that. Their album covers, like something aligned with that, but with a little twist on it maybe to make it stand out more, because you also don't want it to just fall into the bland, fractally album cover territory. And they've got some instrumentals here too. Both of these tracks. So you're really kind of getting three tracks and then 2 instrumental versions. But I'm already getting a lot out of it. So yeah, cool. I want to track these guys. So you got to follow for me. Hit that follow button. Yes, please. That is Hold My Hand Spaceman with So Far So Good. Next we have Falmer with Falmer 4. Now talk about album covers that catch your eye. That fucking rules. That is sick. It's eerie. I love the textured, painted quality of it, and just the dripping logo on top of it. That just all comes together. Very eye-catching. You get a kind of a basic idea of what the music might sound like, although I would have expected maybe more of like a metallic hardcore or something, but yeah, we're going black metal. We don't have a location in the description here. In the peripheral vision of your mind's eye, you see your past traumas trying to creep in, and after you've shut them out, you realize with horror and and impotence are one and the same, and you finally understand those goofy fucking theater masks. Okay. What are you saying about masks? Now this is almost like the flip of the last one, though, because it's like, I love the cover, but the music's a little bit, I don't know, it's pretty typical traditional black metal, second wave style, going back to that early Burzum, early Mayhem, early Dark Throne kind of stuff. There is like a really subtle like Hammond organ or something I'm hearing in my right headphones, so that's kind of neat. But yeah, I'm not getting anything like jumping out at me. You've even got the really rough production, which is fine. I think it suits this style. But like, where's your personality? It's that question that always pops into my head with stuff like this. Why should I listen to your songs instead of just re-listening to Burzum for the 10,000th time, you know? Or Burzum, however you want me to pronounce it. There's some little, like, subtle things happening that I think you could build on. I'm more aggressive on this one. So yeah, part of it's just me, where I'm kind of just, like, tired of this style. I feel like it's been done just over and over again. So again, I'm like, how do you take this and, like, put your own little twist on it so that you make it your own and make it stand out, as well as this cover does? So yeah, fine. Let me know down in the comments, y'all, as usual, for you who, like, really love that just, like, simple second wave black metal stuff, what you think about this. But again, that is Falmer with Falmer 4. Alright, we've got Solstice Rider with Suffer to Glory out of Maryland. Loving this logo. You can make some improvements to it, but I like the overall aesthetic of it. Cool cover, too. Get some Harry Potter vibes. More like symphonic, power metal, folk metal. Love me some folk metal. Do not get enough of it. Like, it's honestly probably one of my favorite genres. Like, just go-to, having fun kind of music. And it's just kind of fallen out of favor. I'm taking this. Got some like Amon Amarth in there, but with more of the atmospheric elements and the synth. Sounds way better than the latest Amon Amarth stuff. I'll put that out there. I did not like the last 2 albums really at all. So I'd say the time is ripe for somebody else to step in and just do it better. Actually, at the time of recording this, I haven't even listened to that new Amon Amarth single because I'm just not excited about them dropping new stuff anymore. This, on the other hand, this is great. Oh, here's my... Ooh, yeah, that's so Amon Amarth right there. But that brings back, like, the old school stuff that made me love them to begin with. Those classic melodeath riffs with the alternating palm mutes with the little melodies tied in there with the picking. But yeah, my forever feedback that I give to so many bands on here, $12 for digital, especially as an underground band, is too much, y'all. Your job right now is to build your fan base and your listener base and get as many people getting this music out there as possible. So, $12, man, that's like, maybe your physical copy could cost $12, because you actually have to put money into that. But for digital, like, digital should be max, like, $8. Like I'd say you got 11 tracks here, you can maybe get away with that. But honestly, again, depending on what your sales and your fan base looks like right now, which I don't know, you know, maybe you can pull that off. But if you're still smaller and you're not attracting many people, I'd drop it down to, like, honestly, $5. And that may hurt, because I'm sure the music sounds like it's worth a lot more than that, but it's only worth what people are willing to pay. And if they don't know who the fuck you are, then it's not going to be worth $12 to them. So, just putting it out there. Because as far as I'm hearing here, the music is on point, like 100%. Fantastic. So I think your focus now should be, how do we invite more people in? How do we grow the fan base? How do we utilize our social media? Could we look at making a music video and getting some marketing around that? Because, like, singles and videos are kind of the thing right now, y'all. And with the quality of your music, I think if you had, like, a good package for that, and you sent it out to, you know, Metal Injection and stuff, they're honestly pretty good at getting back. I mean, I know other bands that are really small that manage to get their stuff on there, so you can package something that's going to stick with people and a good pitch for it. I think that's where your attention needs to go right now, because the artwork, the aesthetic of your page, the music, it's all in a great harmony right now, and I'm really enjoying what I'm hearing here. That's why I'm, like, barely talking about the music, because it's just like, sounds great. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's like this is maybe your second release too, so check out the first album. But yeah, I should probably move on, but that is Solstice Rider with Suffer to... Ooh. Doing that little backup vocal part there, that was cool. Yeah, Solstice Rider with Suffer to Glory. Next is Corruption with Dead is the Soul, out of France. What a kind of cool cover here. Very well done, good aesthetic. Eye-catching too, smart making the skull this very big central part. Another 3-song EP. What are we going here stylistically? Death metal, groove metal, Metallica, Slayer in the tags. More of those. See, here's the interesting thing. So, similar riffs to that last band in a way. Those, like, traditional melodic death metal riffs with the alternations of the palm mutes and the picking. But you can hear now how that style can be used to such a different effect depending on the production, the other instruments around it. This is a little bit more stripped back, straightforward. I like these chuggier parts. That opening was a little bumpy for me, but this part I'm digging. It's almost like a little Megadeth-y. I think I could use a little bit more vocal variety. That's what I'm hearing on here. This is another one of those. I'm patenting my terminology of rah 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 bands where the vocals are just rah 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 rah, like it's the same thing. Just not all that into it. This doesn't fall terribly into that. Like, I feel like there's some importance placed on the positioning of each syllable of the vocals. Because if you don't do that, then you've completely lost me. Like, I feel like there is some craft going into, okay, how do I put each of those vocals nicely into what the guitar and drums are doing? Almost like that Meshuggah mentality. But again, I could still use some highs, some lows, play with your voice a little bit. See if you got some more screams in there. Don't mess it up. Be careful about it. Be smart about it. Maybe check out some vocal training video stuff, but I think that's what I'm hearing missing on here. A little bit more variety in vocals. Oh, we got some singing, which could be for better or worse. Not bad. Not bad, but maybe, you know, there's improvements that could be made there. It's hard. You got a tough act to follow, y'all, so don't feel bad. I mean, you came right off of one of my favorites of this entire video so far, I think. Yeah, definitely hearing those, like, groove elements, hearing a little bit of Lamb of God, a little Arch Enemy. Cool stuff in there. So, yeah. I think this is a good foundation to build off of. I think there's improvements to be made in the production, stretching out the vocals. Ooh, I like this. Nice, good dynamics. You want this. You want this little drum section with the rumbly bass. Keep doing that. Keep doing that. I think songwriting-wise, you guys are really onto something. Ooh, this is fun too. Very Slayery here. Yeah, y'all are onto something. It's just, you know, build up on a few of those other things, and as always, work on, like, how do I get the word out, and happy to help on that front. But this is Corruption with Dead is the Soul. Then we have I the Machine with I the Machine, Florida. Ooh, we getting noisy, experimental here. Oh wait, no, that was just an intro. Heavy industrial metal, yeah. Another genre I love but don't hear enough of. Another reason I love doing this segment is I get to hear all sorts of stuff that I don't always get in my kind of more common inbox stuff. Very aggressive. I feel like could just be, you know, my headphones and stuff. The production feels like it's a little unbalanced. Like, I think the vocals are a little too far forward. The bass and guitars are a little too far back. The lead sounds about where it needs to be, but those rhythm parts, and that rumble, like, you know, this is industrial. That needs to, like, punch. Like, I need more of that. So I'd say bring those parts further forward in the mix. Yeah, those rhythm guitars, like, should be really driving me right now, but they're kind of, like, muffled out. Whereas the vocals are kind of in your face. And falling a little bit into that rah-rah stuff, too. Yeah, that bass, like, sounds really cool, but again, like, I feel like I want to hear that louder, and the vocals a little quieter. And maybe, like, space out the vocals a little bit more, too. I feel like it's a little bit much. Like, let them breathe a little bit. Because if your vocals are at 11 constantly, then they don't have the same impact. Like, I hear you screaming your lungs out, and that should be, like, making me be like, fuck yeah, but really it's like, it's constant, so it kind of becomes this drone. I mean, our brains literally, I don't know if y'all know this, I feel like this is pretty common knowledge, but like, if you sit in a room with, like, loud static for a couple minutes, like, your brain knows how to, like, readjust and kind of turn it down mentally so that it becomes more of, like, a hum, so that you're not being, like, overwhelmed by it. Like, your brain knows how to filter that stuff out. It's the same way as people, like, who get the like, implant hearing aids. Voices kind of sound robotic at first, but over time the brain knows how to kind of, like, calculate and calibrate until things sound more like they're supposed to. Just a little interesting. I love brain science stuff. It's fascinating to me. In my field, of course. So yeah, I think, like, the musicianship here, I'm interested in hearing more of. It's just, I feel like it's getting drowned out a little bit. It's being overshadowed by these slightly overly aggressive vocals. So that's my main critique with that. But I'd like to hear more. And of course, as always, like, I'm no professional, but people send me their albums. They want to hear my thoughts on them. So those are my thoughts on I the Machine with I the Machine. All right, then we have Kajgün with Daogoad out of Hungary. Probably didn't pronounce either of those words correctly. Psychedelic jazz metal, playing totally improvised music with the goal to reformulate fusion jazz via the elements of metal and world music. We got some saxophone here. I'm interested in totally improvised, huh? So my question then is, okay, if you play live then, do you recreate these songs? Or do you create something completely different every time because you're improvising? Interested. Interested to hear what you have to say about that. It's like, because do you improvise it, record it, and then learn it so that you can play it over again? Or are you just, again, being completely freeform every time? Honestly, I was expecting this to be a little bit of a mess, but this sounds pretty rad, actually. Like, I'd be down for, like, sitting in a bar-style venue, drinking, taking in some of this music. Could also see them, like, opening for, like, maybe Imperial Triumphant or something. Also, thinking about stuff like explosions in the sky, Russian circles, kind of more atmospheric instrumental music. Strong, like, post-metal elements here, too. I know they're big on the psychedelic jazz stuff, but I'm also hearing a lot of other stuff. Ooh, got some, like, regional instrumentation here. I forget the name of that instrument, but that's cool to hear. I love when bands throw in stuff that's more kind of a part of where they live in the world. Yeah, it's I had kind of like, I didn't know what to expect from this. There's some more psychedelic, kind of 70s, 80s sounding stuff. That sort of like 80s prog kind of vibe. Stuff like Yes. Always makes me think of that Venture Bros where he has Dean, I think, listened to his like Yes album as he's learning super science. Venture Bros, best Adult Swim show, gotta say. I love Metalocalypse, but I think I love Venture Brothers more. So many choices, though. Anyways. Ooh, got some more sax there. Yeah, very interesting. Y'all know, like, my favorite thing to find on here is not just, like, diamonds in the rough and genres I normally love, but find those, like, weird experimental things that sound... They're doing something different than anybody else. This part with this bass heavy part with the brass reminds me of, what's that? There's a couple of duos out there, but there's one in particular that has a very, like, Indian sounding name. Ooh, there's sitar in here, too. Dang it, what is the name of that band? Oh, maybe somebody in the comments always saves me when I can't think of the names of stuff. It's like on the tip of my tongue, but I can't get it out. I think they're based out of India too, but I'm not 100% on there. Yeah, this one's really cool though. Like, this would definitely be something while I'm working and typing and stuff. Like, I'd want on in the background to kind of like I got a vibe going here. Definitely real good vibe here. Good vibe check. Cool stuff. Very interesting. Very different from anything else on here. Again, that is Kajgün with Daogoad. Alright, next up we have Candida with Spore. And I've been ensured this is some intense guttural death metal. And there it is. These guys are out of Atlanta, Georgia. Just going in on those gutturals and the breeze and all that. I like that. A little bit of a grindcore influence in there too, I feel like. Some slam, too. They seem especially proud of their... Ooh. I like those. Very gritty production, but I feel like it kind of fits the music, right? Yeah, they seem especially proud of the vocals. Kind of fun. I've said before, I'm not like super duper into this style, but for what it is, it seems pretty good. These little breaks are cool. I like these little wretched, like snarly, high-pitched vocals too. This whole thing just seems mostly like a platform to just like experiment with how many crazy sounds he can make with his vocal cords. Nice little drum roll intro. Yeah, they're going for like every style. That was more like a hardcore bark kind of deal. Yeah, I mean, simple but effective. Be interested to hear how it sounds live, too, because with the production, it's hard to say. They literally have a song that's just a list of, like, all their tags, basically.
Like somebody just walked.
Yeah, that's basically just their tags. That's funny. Yeah, I feel like you get the idea. Good stuff. I think it's pretty fun, honestly. I really do. Like, it wouldn't be the first thing I'd choose to listen to, but if somebody were looking for some underground slam and brutal death metal, then this is definitely something I'd recommend to them. So yeah, that is Candida with Spore. Then we have Copse with Mara Mondrem. Little 2-song EP. These guys are out of Bristol, UK. Like the album cover. I understand these guys are post-metal quintet. 2 kind of long-ish songs, almost 8 minutes, and then almost 10 minutes for the second one. Ooh, I like that. Yeah, it's just that very blissful, drifting kind of style. Reminds me a little bit of listening to stuff like Explosions in the Sky and Russian Circles. That was the name I was trying to think of. We got some vocals here. Long lead up to those vocals, seems like. Good sound of the vocals too. Production is solid. Good for headphones. Like very like that kind of like big sound you want for this more atmospheric style of music, kind of surrounding you. The polar opposite of that last band. Talk about Whiplash. Very pretty. Also getting some Numenorian. A little bit, especially in this section here. R.I.P. Numenorian. I don't think they're doing anything else, because I think they got into some trouble, unfortunately. C'est la vie. Luckily, there is no shortage of talented bands out there. Yeah, this is really good. Very beautiful melodies. Yeah, I'm liking this a lot. It's on the cheap side too. Only like $4.08 USD. I like the little crackling campfire sound too. Hear that on like Panopticon a lot. Check out this second song. Drums sound great too. Like real nice punch to them. Sounds like you're watching them live. It'd be hard to capture that, but if you mic it just right. Ooh. Yeah, this is also very kind of like Numenorian sound here, which I really like that kind of like mix of that like post-metal, post-black with like progressive. Makes for a very nice synthesis. They're really good all around. Like I don't really have any criticism here. Another band where, like, I need to sit down and listen to it all the way through without skipping through it, but really digging what I'm hearing here. Like, there's a lot to appreciate. Very sad too. Just that type of music that like gives you goosebumps and kind of makes you want to tear up a little, even if you're not sure why. So yeah, great stuff. Yeah, that's Copse with Mara Mondrem. And then we have the Ancient Dark with the Ancient Dark. It's a melodic death metal band out of Ireland. Like this cover, very mellow death cover. It totally seems like it would have fit in alongside most of those like mid-2000s albums. Nice little bounce to this one. Man, I miss the days when melodic death metal was just like the genre. Just at the peak with like Damage Done and Fiction and all that stuff. Yeah, a little more mid-tempo. Yeah, this track's almost a little bit more like a Mon Amarth style. Check out some of these other tracks here. Strychnine Lives, or Lives, could be. Oh, we got some cleans here. This is almost more like Baroness kind of sound here. A little different. Kind of cool, very hypnotic. Yeah, they're definitely going for that more like head bobby, mid-tempo style, which is cool too. From the cover though, I was expecting like, it reminded me of something from like Soilwork or something. So I was expecting more of that Gothenburg-y sound, but this is... Ooh. Kind of a old Dark Tranquility style solo here. Yeah, this defied my expectations. Interesting. Ascend to Nothing. Another band drums sound great. Like that big, powerful pounding sound. Yeah, this has more of that Dark Tranquility vibe to it. Yeah, with the cleans too. Name your price too, y'all. I always point those out. Smart thing to do if you're an unknown band out there. Just get as many people, get your music into the hands of as many people as possible. Like, it's hard to create something that's this good and then not make a ton of money off of it, but when you're getting started, it's all about getting that momentum first. More great soloing. Good atmosphere. Could see some connections maybe to like sound. Oh, here we go. That was more of a like In Flames opening riff there. Yeah, staying in a similar tempo most of this, but covering a bunch of different styles in the guitar riffs. I could definitely get down with this. Like, this was all the music that I was listening to for like all that like middle 2000s really. This was like my go-to stuff. From like late high school to like early college. Great stuff. So yeah, that is The Ancient Dark with The Ancient Dark. Alright y'all, that is plenty for now. Thank you as always to those of you who continue to grow this segment. I am just in awe of how many people are, like me, interested in those underground acts out there. But let me know down in the comments which one was your favorite this week, and check out this playlist for plenty more if you're new here. But that'll do it for now. Flight of Icarus signing off. I will see you in the trenches.